G'day guys, and today Shorty and I, due to popular demand, have decided to do a Geelong season review. So tonight we're basically just having a bit of a bird's eye view of how the Cats season has gone, what's gone right, what's gone wrong. It's kind of like the Damien Barrett and Gary Lyon sort of wash-up series, and we'll do a similar setup there and then sort of branch off into sort of our own little categories and what we think is worthy to talk about.
Yeah, we'll pull it to shreds here. We're keen to get stuck into it because we'll do a little wash up bit, but then we'll get to the the finer details.
The nitty-gritty details.
We love to talk about the Cats, and we won't just wash over it like we don't have to do anything club, so we got plenty of time to talk Cats.
Unless you want us to. We're not going to.
Floats it and denies it, but there you go.
Season highlight though, Shorty, has to go to Mark Blitzarves. He's arrived. He's become one of the premier players in our team and most improved player in the competition without a doubt.
Yep, very nice, mate.
So he's just been sensational this year, playing as a ruckman, but also playing as a midfielder. Renewed himself there, and he's been fantastic there. Was earmarked to play defence, but due to circumstances outside his control, he's had to become a bit of a ruckman. And the combination between him and Stanley's been fantastic, and he's just been super consistent. May win the best and fairest.
Yeah, nice. And my season highlight was Daniel Menzel. Took a while for this highlight to come about, but it did, and it was just, when I think back, there weren't too many individual games that were just fantastic for us. No. Not a great year.
Says a lot.
Exactly. No All-Australian selections, not too much happened there. Daniel Menzel was undoubtedly the highlight of the Geelong season.
Yeah,
and actually the highlight of AFL for the year.
207 weeks out of the game.
It's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Long time.
Season low light, though, and I think we'll both have this on our agenda, and you'll have something different as well. At the Melbourne game at Simmons Stadium, Corey Enright's 300th game, didn't show up. And it was a win we had to get to stay in contention, to sort of keep our finals chances alive against a bottom 4, bottom 6 team, and we didn't show up.
We did not.
We put up a terrible performance, and Melbourne made us look second rate, and we looked slow, and all those kinds of things. And we wrote out. Well, it was a line to Geelong for the season, basically. Yeah,
you're right. And my low light is similar with a lot of the points you raised. Just
I reckon I know this game.
Different venue and different team. It was at the G against Collingwood.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Had the milestone and the Menzel return, so my low light and highlight came in the same game.
Intriguing. Yeah, the irony.
But I did have Melbourne down, of course, and totally agree. But I just felt we had so much to play for. We had to win to really keep in. Well, we did. We had to win to keep ourselves in finals contention, and it wasn't the fact that we just lost. It was a disgraceful performance, and we were very harsh on them in the review, and rightfully so, because they were awful. And
abysmal.
Just terrible. So that took our season to an official end, and is my low light.
There you go, mate. It was Menzel or nothing, I think you were about to say as well.
Yeah.
He was going to play with his heart and spirit. Christmas bonus time. Who do you reckon deserves a few extra chocolates for the point end of the year, mate?
I like the way you say it, mate. It's almost like you're Gary Lyon or Damo. Mark Blitzarves gets my Christmas bonus, and a healthy one at that.
Yeah, I reckon he would. What does he get?
Oh, gee, I'm going to give him a bit of holiday overseas if he likes.
Overseas?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about rural, but no.
He's been good, hasn't he?
Give him a nice little trip with his mates, and if he's got a girlfriend, give her a free pass as well. But,
nice.
All the points you mentioned at the top there with your highlight, he is in amazing form and has come a long way from the runner he once was, and I think the best is yet to come, because hopefully next year he can play as a pure midfielder, and we see his best in the midfield.
That'd be great, mate, wouldn't it? Yeah. Be looking at our lives.
Certainly would. How about you?
I've gone with Cam Guthrie, buddy.
Yeah, nice.
I reckon he's been very solid this year. I don't know about a breakout season, but he's certainly performed quite well, and he's not a very obvious pick, and it's tough to have picked an obvious pick, really. I guess Caddy was maybe another one that I was thought about, but Guthrie's really stood up this year when he's had to, and bursts away from the stoppages time and time again. As you said in the past, one of the quickest players to go from contested to uncontested.
Yes.
So his ball use is generally pretty good, and generally steps up well.
Nice, mate. But what are you going to give him? Do you have a
slap a BB.
Slap a BB. So Mark's cruising overseas in Thailand, and Cam's just sitting back in the couch thinking VBs.
Oh, does he like VBs? I know. Well, how much did your holiday value that, mate? About a few grand?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get him a nice Holden Commodore or something like that. Even though I'll give him a nice Ford, mate. 2005 one or something like that.
Gives us something from our direct rival sponsor. Old sponsor.
Unbelievable. Anyway, Christmas bonus time's all done and dusted, mate. And to your segment, the chopping block, which is straight through. Yeah, he sounds weird when he does it, but
he does. Yeah.
He's like, it's worse than Cara's arrow right there. But chopping block's your segment, mate, and it's been all year, and it's popped up again. Who's gone?
I'm chopping Dawson Simpson, mate.
Oh boy,
time to go, Dawes.
See you later.
Take up the dog walking and dog teaching full time, mate, or maybe play some BFL. But
didn't he have it enroll on a TAFE course or something like that, just to make sure? As a Sparky, I think.
Oh gosh, yeah, maybe he knows it's on the cards. No, I think you may be thinking on a similar line. So also I put in Josh Walker. And we like Josh, but a bit in Damo style. If the price is right, and we need to get Walker on the move to get something potentially more valuable in, because we do have Vardy, Clark, Hawkins, and they love Kirsten, so I feel as if they will keep him.
Absolutely.
And Walker may be the man to make way, which wouldn't necessarily please me, but for the greater club it may. So,
he kicked 3 against the Crows.
He did, mate. He really did.
A few pack marks. Kirsten never did that.
I like him, mate. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong.
I like him too. But,
well, who are you chopping?
Chopping Dawson Simpson, the Sparky as well.
The Sparky.
The future Sparky. It's 26, 27, but
yeah,
it's your age. And Shane Kirsten. I know they're not going to, but I reckon I don't know what role he plays or what he does for the team, but he's just not doing much at all. And I just don't know what they've seen him. He's just done next to nothing.
Yeah, which we've mentioned throughout the year.
He's on the chopping block regularly. Next year, mate, up, down, or stagnant? Stagnate.
I'm going to say up and just. And that may be dependent on who can come to our club. Say at the list at the moment, I'm saying stagnate. If we get a couple of guys in, a la Dangerfield, Selwood, Henderson if you like as well.
Yeah.
I think we can go up. And that may only be 8th or 9th. But I think it'll be just going upward.
Yeah, I'm going up too, mate. There's no other way for the Cats, especially if they get a few other guys in. But yeah, I was tempted to say stagnate, but I don't think we can do much worse this year.
Love the positivity, mate.
Yeah. We're not being biased. We genuinely think that even if it is only 8th or 9th, we will go up.
Very good stuff, mate. Thank you for joining me on the wash-up.
Goodbye. And I guess next we'll sort of cover the review over the season, sort of the strengths and weaknesses. Well, maybe we'll go with what should we need to recruit over the year, or next year over trade and free agency.
Yeah, certainly.
I'll quickly go through what I've got. I mean, there's been plenty of talk about Dangerfield, how he's a done deal, and Henderson and Selwood, and it really does patch up a lot. And I think I might just leave it at that and leave it to you, to be honest, because that seems to be more or less what you like to talk about.
Yeah, sure, mate. They are the three in real focus, aren't they? And you mentioned they patch up a bit, and you're exactly right. I mean, Henderson, we need that guy down back for the next age group to come along, and I think he's not a good forward. I don't think he's a great forward, but he is a good defender, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
He's worthwhile, not for the top pick, not our first pick, but I think we can get him across the line. Dangerfield speaks for himself, doesn't he? He's a jet. How good would that be? Him and Selwood, arguably the two best contested players in the league, with a few others.
That'd be delicious.
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable, and it just adds so much to our midfield. They added another elite player. What more can you ask for? And Scott Selwood's the interesting one. Not many people know too much about him, and he hasn't been playing too much through injury and otherwise. But I think there's a definite spot for us, or for him in our team.
Hopes to stay at West Coast, but...
Yeah, it's the toughest one to get a read on, I reckon. Yeah,
you'd think he'd stay there, but you look at their midfield depth and it's off the charts.
I think it'll come down to his decision could be made in the next couple of weeks if he gets a grand final berth or a prelim berth.
Intriguing, yeah. I've heard that on Triple M, which you probably heard today as well.
I heard whispers of it, yeah. But look, I think he's definitely a very good player. May not see him play much, but if you look at the stats, I mean, where do we harp on every week? Clearances and contested ball. He loves that stuff, as does Dangerfield. But Selwood's in and under. He can do a tagging job as well, which is handy to have because we don't have that player since Cameron Ling, and yes, it's a slightly dying art.
Taylor Hunt, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a nice thing to have, so I think he offers a bit of versatility, and we need depth. But the rounding out thing I want to say with these guys is, as a whole, they fill an age gap that has a gaping hole in it on our list. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's about 23 or 24 to 27 mark.
Yeah, basically it.
Maybe 24 to 28 is exact, but there's minimal players in that range, and if anything, we at least need to look towards the real future to not, once these guys retire, to have an absolute fall away from the pack sort of setup. But that's my thoughts on the guys we should recruit. What are your thoughts on Geelong going forward, and whatever else you had in mind?
The strengths and weaknesses sort of things.
Yeah, hit us off.
Yeah, well, in terms of the strengths over the year, we didn't finish in the 8th, so we're not a strong side, are we?
No.
Unfortunately, it comes down to as simple as that. But I think one of our features, and I don't watch every single team play every single week, but I think our ball movement from halfbacks, I wouldn't say it's a leap, but I'd say it's above average.
Yep.
When we really get a roll on, we can really move the ball from halfback to the forward line reasonably well. Going inside 50 is another story, which I'll touch on in the weaknesses. But on the strength side of things, mate, you found it tough as well.
I did, and I really do agree with you on the from defensive 50, the way we can move it, which is good. I put down a strength as our culture. I know that's not something particular to the year, but in a year that didn't offer too much new that we didn't know, and more negatives perhaps than positives when you look back, I feel like our club's in pretty good hands in the culture that we have built. This isn't necessarily including old mate Chris Scott, because he has some work to do at times, but to have Joel Selwood as his skipper and some of those older guys, leaving the club hopefully in good hands and passing their knowledge on, I'd like to think that's a strength of sort of generation to now this new generation.
And build from
one would hope. Yeah.
Definitely. On the weaknesses fronts, and there's a few,
yeah,
which is sad. Contested ball, clearances, ground ball gets. How terrible were they this year?
Yeah, and a stat people don't talk about, but it's very true.
Exactly. Speed or run and spread around the ground, and forward 50 entries have been terrible. So that's just almost a list, I guess. And if you want to elaborate on those points or have any other points, I've probably taken most of the points you would have thought about.
No, you said a couple, which is good, and I think general skill level isn't probably as good as some.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been very bad at times this year.
Yeah, the inside 50 kick is an important one, and our depth as well. I mean, it was hugely tested this year.
Yeah, so many injuries.
Hopefully we don't get as many injuries as we did, even though we have injury-prone players. But it was tested and found wanting, really, because I felt when we had our best team on the park, we played reasonable footy. I mean, we have natural fluctuations, but we talk about contested ball and clearances week in, week out often, and we are, don't think we're just an old record. We are the worst in the league at it. We are 18th, so there's no...
Can't get any worse.
It's not like we watch the game and feel we're not going well in it. We are the worst team in Australia at it in the national comp, so...
Get it loud and clear. Heavy when you say it like that, mate.
Loud and clear, we must improve that area or we won't play any good finals, because that's where it's really so important.
Won and lost.
Finals footy people talk about. So
that's it, mate. I guess we'll have a look at a few high points and lower points. So along with the highlight and low light, the high point, I guess, or a few high points. Mitch Clark comes to mind. And probably early season, I should say. How he sort of got off to a pretty good start. And then he just withered away in the wind. The Gold Coast game, I thought, was a highlight. Had to fight through adversity there, and Gold Coast, when you look back on it, they were an absolute rebel then, and we just won despite everything that happened. But at the time, it was one of Geelong's finest wins, which is, I guess, a highlight for us. And I've written down the month of heaven where we won 4 in a row.
Yeah,
and I think I tipped the Cats probably once or twice out of that month. So we bet the Doggies, didn't expect to win that one. We bet the Giants, didn't expect to win that one. What did you think on that one? I think you tipped the Giants.
Yeah, it was 50-51.
Yeah, and I think we had I think we had 2 other teams, mate.
I can't even remember, to be honest. Did Port Adelaide in there? Was that earlier?
That might have been earlier in the year, but yeah,
that's right. We did win 4 in a row.
Yeah, we bet a few teams we just didn't expect to beat, I guess, at the time, and I thought that was probably our best footy for the year, and if we kept that form up and everything went right and wrong for the Crows and North Melbourne, and played that footy in finals, we would have been a big chance to win a final. But that's not how it panned out. But
no.
Any sort of points that stuck out to you this year, mate, over the course of the season?
I guess the development of the second tier players we have, or maybe more so in the midfield that we've questioned at times.
Yeah.
They've gotten a mention already. Blitzarves, Guthrie, Caddy.
Yep.
Probably the main ones there. Motlop as well.
Yep. Oh, he had an interesting start.
Yeah.
Colourful.
Yeah, it was a high point for me to, see and feel confident that they are going to be the next crop and are good players and heading in the right direction. And low points, I think I've probably covered off in those two games of Melbourne and Collingwood, and just the demise of such a great club.
Yeah.
It was really the poorest season in a long time, as we've said. But I guess that's going to happen. But it's always disappointing at the time when you lose games at home that you never used to lose. And you wait for that response and it doesn't come.
It wrecks your heart.
Yeah,
breaks your heart.
Tough to watch, but I think that's just how footy goes. We've had it better than most fans in the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. We can't complain almost. In terms of myself, Melbourne and Collingwood are the two games I had there, but I guess as you sort of touched on, the decline of some of our absolute champions like James Kelly. I reckon he's still good to go on next year, but he will, due to his injuries, he probably was sort of wasn't quite given the nod, or maybe it was decided a long time ago. And I guess the decline of even Jimmy Bartel, his second half of the year was very poor. I think that's partially because he's played out of position in defence. He's not a defender. I've said it 3 times now.
Yeah.
On video. Many more in real life. And, Stevie J, just his mind is willing, his body's not. Can't do the things he used to do, and he's gone anyway from us. So, it's just always sad. It's like, trying to see, I know someone's grandparents have they're not quite right, e.g. Alzheimer's, and it's just such a sad thing to see. I mean, it naturally happens. You're never quite as good as you are at the time you were, I guess. So, pretty horrific example there. But, pretty heavy.
That just got real.
Pretty heavy. But the natural decline was, and a lot of things not happening for 10 years, like having lost to Melbourne in 10 years, and a lot of things we said, Geelong haven't done that since 2006, and we didn't make finals that year, and we didn't this year, so it had all the makings for that year again, and it ended up happening.
Yeah, and another high point that we probably should mention is the way we ended the season, I guess. That's a bit of a golden day in probably Geelong's history, I suppose. Sending off guys in as good a way as possible. I unfortunately didn't get to see it, so it was probably more of a high point for you, but definitely a high point of a club.
Yeah.
To send those guys off in a great way, and all 3 of them to have really good games. That's just outside of your control, and they all did it, so that was great.
Fantastic. That's exactly what you want. But hopefully injuries stay okay next year, mate. I feel like I had another thing to cover, but I can't.
Do we want to look at the positions?
Positions, I think that's what I was going to go to next. You love talking about the defence, mate, so I'll leave that to you.
Sure, mate. Yeah, we'll check out each position, but look a bit more in depth on a couple. And our defence, we're ageing there and looking to turn it over a bit, so that's why Henderson will help.
Yep, Rivers' retirement helps in a way.
Yeah, and I love the development of Kolodjasny as well.
Oh, he's so smooth, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be there for a long time, and it's great to see. Mackie staying on is interesting, and Enright too.
For 2 years for Mac, which was quite surprising, but I reckon he played his best game for the club against the Crows recently, so
good point.
You must have known about it.
Yeah, exactly right. So you've still got a bit of experience down there, which is important. You don't want to lose it all at once. Hopefully we can add Henderson, and Kolodjasny's playing good footy, but that small forward worries us all the time.
Yeah, it's a big worry.
I haven't got the stats on me, but I was looking through each small forward and what they did against us, and it's just damning. Guys just kick goals against us. Even someone like Troy Minsel, I think he kicked 4. There's the obvious examples, but I was going through, and every second week a small forward gets a hold of us. So,
wow.
Look, where can we get better? Jed Buse is the man, seemingly. He needs to really step up. He has been left wanting at times, and he's been tried in and out and whatnot. So he needs to lift. Because there's a spot there for him.
He's got his name all over it.
They've tried Billy Smets down back. I just don't feel his skill level is where it needs to be.
Yeah,
and I
he's
think
not a one-on-one, is he?
No, and he's a more offensive player. Jimmy Bartel's played down there in defence, and Just ask Tice. He's not a defender. So look,
and Enright's not capable anymore.
Yeah, he's lost that touch of bit of pace. I suppose has dropped off. So I definitely think we will look to the draft for someone like that as well.
Yeah, he's one to recruit.
Medium-sized defender, and I definitely think we lack a bit of rebound out of defence. I know we mentioned the from half back movement is good, but that's not necessarily from our defenders. I mean, when you look at the best defenders, look at the Dogs. You got Wood, Murphy, and Boyd. They accumulate the ball and
they do,
and a lot of rebound. Enright does it relatively well. Mackie on his day does it well.
Yep.
But those guys have probably got a year or two left. So to find another one and a more consistent basis of doing it would be great. So
we need another Wojo.
Yeah, that'd be handy, wouldn't it? Darren Milburn.
Milburn as well. Why not? Come back, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything to add to the defence? If not, definitely have a look at the midfield for me.
Yeah, well, Jed Adcock has only kicked 4 goals twice. He's kicked 4 goals 3 times now, I think, because I think he kicked 4 against the Dogs.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty sure he did. Yeah. So, yeah, it's happened 3 times now. He's playing out of his skin for some reason, but 4 goals on Enright. Cyril kicked 6 on Enright, I think. So, just highlighting, Betty Betts kicked 4 in a half, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just highlighting that it's killed us, and Monfrey's kicked 6 on us in 2013,
and the Collingwood game.
7, sorry, I think he kicked 7. I'm not. It was 7.
And the Collingwood game when it went to Graham, the forward line, our defence,
the Solo and Elliott,
looked awful.
Yeah, there you go. But looking into the midfield, and it's probably a position you know better than me actually, but you do like the midfielders. What are we sort of getting at here, mate? I guess if we get in Dangerfield, that really helps us, and Selwood.
Certainly.
It probably takes out a couple of players that we have in there already. But I think Duncan, a full season is so important. I think once his foot was gone for a while, we wrote the season off nearly because he's that important. And when he came back, how good did we look? He's our best kick on the team, and we need plenty of run and carry from him. Joel Selwood, I reckon he needs to work on his kicking. He had a underwhelming year. Had a good year, but not by his lofty standards. I wouldn't have thought. To get Danger would be fantastic. So we just need to get that nice balance. We've got plenty of outside players. We've got Lang, we've got Motlop, we've got Guthrie if you like, and a few other guys. But just need that real inside grunt to win those clearances, which you'll get from Dangerfield, you'll get from Scott Selwood, you get from Joel Selwood. So and Caddy as well, the bull.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Definitely need to address that, and I reckon we probably need some more goals out of our midfielders too. May well get that from Dangerfield with his burst out of the pack, but I'm happy with them most of the time. Sometimes they can just be a bit off, and we can get run over like Collingwood's young midfield brigade got us. But I think in general, on paper it looks alright, and I think there was times where Bartel should have been playing in the midfield where he wasn't.
Yeah.
Who knows what the go is for there, mate. And Kelly, but in general, Blitzarves will be a handy addition there, along with Stanley if he's fit and firing, or Mitch Clark playing in the ruck.
Yeah, nice, mate. Josh Cowan's a man that could go back, actually. I forgot to mention him. He's been playing defence and could potentially be a guy we look to play in defence more often, but nicely worked with the midfield, mate.
I made that up all on the spot. I was sort of overwhelmed at the time.
Nah, it's good. I think we need some continuity through the midfield, that's for sure.
Yeah, your comments,
and,
go for it.
A bit of polish as well would be nice. You mentioned Duncan, his polish was missing, and Caddy's great, Selwood's great, but it can just be a bit messy out of clearance sometimes, and that continuity, hopefully, as well with a more pronounced ruckman in there, could be good too.
Definitely.
But look, I think right now we have on paper a reasonable midfield.
Yeah, it's probably a B to B plus.
That's right.
Right in the middle of B and B plus.
Yeah, I'm glad you put a grade on it, because we've only really got one A grader in there. If you want to say elite, and that's Selwood. The best midfields have probably 3, and then some real, B pluses, even A graders alongside. So adding Dangerfield would be great, but I definitely think we need to see Caddy and Duncan's the man for mine to really step up.
Another step.
Yeah, step up again, because he can do it, no doubt.
He's a gun.
And Motlop as well. Probably will never... He might reach the elite, but not your all-round midfielder. but elite on the outside is what we need to impact games like an Isaac Smith at his best. So
definitely. I like
Andrew Gaff's possibly a better example. So
Gaff's a gun.
Yeah, and Jared Jansen, look out for him. I definitely think he
has to have a go. Sure.
He'll get a go soon, and I like his prospects for sure.
Very good, mates. And I guess we'll both have a bit of a look at up the field, the forward line.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to kick us off, mate? Or
yeah, right. I guess we've got the stay-at-home full forward and Tommy Hawkins. These forwards are very, very rare these days, and they were showing on Talking Footy on one of the TV shows there that the stay-at-home full forward's almost gone, and the impacts he's had this year, and Gary Lyon pointed the finger at Harry Taylor and Tom Hawkins with the St Kilda game, or Collingwood game, maybe both of them. And Tommy just struggles to get to contest sometimes, so maybe a bit of a Jack Rewalt sort of setup where he loses a bit of weight. Because, he can wrestle and win one-on-ones, pretty well, but sometimes he just wrestles against guys that are just going to beat him in the wrestle. But, I think Tom will be fine, though. I don't think he's going to get any better or any worse.
Yeah. Good luck, Tom. You're going nowhere.
Well, he might improve on this season because lots of things have gone outside of his control that have been against him. And Lincoln McCarthy, I've got my eye on him next year. And of course, Dan Menzel, Vards has had a really good end to the season, and only a couple of games to him. But the forward line's looking pretty promising if everything goes right. Stevie J, huge out. We need match winners. I don't feel like we have that many. And we really do need some of those guys to really be able to hit the scoreboard, because Stevie J just provides an X factor and can turn the game in 5 minutes. So, that's a little summary for myself. And if you want to cover the next half, if there's many other players to cover. Yeah,
Mitch Clark's one that comes to mind for sure.
Huge.
Like he got a bit of run up, but then he had certain problems off the field and physically as well. So. You'd like to think, and we said at the start of the year, you won't see his best footy till the second half of the year, and he was obviously out injured. So, sadly, no surprise his best footy didn't come this year. We hoped, and no doubt the recruiters would have hoped it comes next year. So,
absolutely.
Let's hope it does, because he's a very good player when he's on, and him and Hawkins would be a great combination, I feel. And I totally agree when you say Hawkins could probably shed a few kilos and be a tad more mobile. I think it also relates slightly to the midfield and the poor clearance situation we have, because you think about how many one-on-ones he gets, you only really get one-on-ones through quick ball movement, and that's often...
good movement too.
Yeah, and that's often out of the centre clearance when players are allowed to hold position and teams don't have time to flood back. So
for sure,
midfield hasn't done him any favours, but we'll back Tommy in.
Sure.
I have a few concerns with the forward line, that's for sure. Just a lot of unknowns, really. You talk about Clark,
Menzel,
Vardy, McCarthy.
Yeah.
We lose Johnson,
Yeah, it takes away the firepower, and I think I did say good luck us getting a good score next year.
Exactly. It's kind of...
a lot of unproven.
Yeah, you're right.
As you said, a lot of unknowns.
I know, and we have more class maybe on the tall variety, more potential there. Menzel just has to produce, really.
Amazing season.
He has to have a great year and years throughout, so a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's
poor bloke.
Shows how much we need him to come back well. But McCarthy's a good one to watch, and I think again we said mid-sized defender. Well, I reckon we'll look for maybe a medium sort of forward player as well. Kirsten, they'll be patient with him, that's for sure. Very patient with him.
I don't know why. Oh.
Yeah, but Zach Bates is one I like in the reserves too, actually.
Yeah, he's been going on, hasn't he? Yeah.
But it's tough to say with the forward line where the options are going to come. You would hope that we need just development. I don't think we're recruiting for the defence and the midfield.
Yeah, for now.
So the forward line's just going to have to take care of itself, and hopefully it does.
It's in that age bracket, the prime bracket, to sort of start to build and learn.
And our ruck situation, mate, would you like to see Reece Stanley there? You sold on him?
Yeah, I'm happy with Reece boy there. His performance against Port Adelaide sold me big time, and I can't see him as a forward or a defender. He may go down back in the future if we're really struggling, but we'll see more blitz halves in the middle, I would have thought. And I think he'll be there. Dawson Simpson gone, I think, as we said on the chopping block.
Yeah.
He's just had too much time, I think, and he's so one-dimensional, and you can't have two ruckmen. Even with the sub gone, as of next year, he's not going to make it to the team. Or would you rather blitz halves and Stanley, or Stanley and Simpson? you don't want Simpson in that
No.
category. Not that you drop blitz halves for him, but I think that's sort of how we'll roughly pan out, and maybe swap him with Clark as well.
And it'll be intriguing where Vardy fits into the puzzle too, because you've obviously got Hawkins, you've obviously got Stanley,
Clark.
so like Clark and Vardy.
Yeah, you're relying on injuries a little bit.
I mean, they can't be all on the ground at once.
No,
surely.
no, you wouldn't have thought so.
Really, but hopefully
There you
look
go.
forward to some third man up action with Blitz Halves and Stanley, because that Port Adelaide game in combination,
Yeah,
that brought the conjecture about the rule, and
worked wonders.
yeah, it was fantastic. So that's something to look forward to for sure.
Solid, mate. Well, any final points to add for the end of season review? I don't think there's much more to talk about.
No, I think we covered it pretty nicely, mate. Certainly don't think we're ungrateful Cats fans. We appreciate what's happened in the past, no doubt, and we've
10
been
years,
lucky.
yeah.
But this year wasn't a good one, and it's worth showing the people and telling people, at least from our perspective, why it wasn't good. So I think
We
we've
know now.
a few negatives and things, but I think we've painted a nice picture of where it needs to improve and can improve. So that's good.
Beautifully summed up, mate. All right, that's Geelong season review for season 2015. And finally, mate, we predicted pre-season. If you want to check out that video, 6 to 10. We got on the lower end of the scale, but we got it right.
Yeah, it was good how it panned out. I thought would have been nicer to be close to 6.
Yeah, same
I
here.
think, but we were always in that bracket, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just fell short.
Who's going to be better? Is the team going to jump us? Who knows? But
Yeah.
oh well, maybe another year.
Yeah, hopefully next.
That'd be great. Alrighty, thanks for sticking around, guys. Feel free to comment any thoughts on how you reckon the Cat season went. Don't forget to like the video as well and share it around to all your mates. That'd be great. Don't forget to subscribe as well. That's always important. We love that. And yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. We'll catch you all next time.